All right. Okay, so yes. All right, so that's timeout for you. We can allocate time like right. Yeah, say 30. It actually reads it in milliseconds, so that's why I'm putting this number milliseconds. All right. So if it doesn't see this, I've removed the type into activity. Okay, so let me try to run this file. Your login has expired. Please sign out and sign in. Meaning what? Log into what? Talking about, I don't have issues with, I should disconnect. Okay, so, well, that's just to tell us about timeouts in case you have not come across it. All right. I want to use my UiPath assistant to sign out. Yes. Okay. What's going on here? Okay, he's definitely going to try and error. That is so certain. So it's going to look for elements, that are captured. And if it doesn't see it within 30 seconds, it will throw an error. But if it sees it within that time period, of course, no issue. All right, so we are saying that how should that now affect the splitting? Should that be a criteria for splitting our workflow? That's actually where we are coming from. So are we together? Or have I?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, have I disconnected? Sorry.
No, sir.
It's like I've disconnected you somehow.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. All right. So, I can't see the output. Okay. Anyway, let me push this out. Stop. It's even going to throw error. So certain because it's taking too long a time. All right. So that's what this timeout. That's what it handles. Back to this. I hope we'll still have. Okay, so should we include the length of timeout properties?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as part of the criteria for splitting large workflows. Okay, is that a general answer?
No,
all right,
sir.
Okay, we should not. Okay, actually, we shouldn't. It shouldn't be. The reason is it doesn't have any direct relationship with the largeness of a workflow or the complexity of a work. The timeouts, it has nothing to do with it, and we cannot use that as a criteria for splitting or not splitting a large workflow. All right, so Let's move to the next. Let's see what we have. How to break down a complex process. We can read it off in lesson 5. I think lesson 5. I've seen something like that there. All right.
Sir, please ask a question.
You have a question? Okay.
Is there a limit for the timeout property?
Yes, yes, there is a limit. 30 seconds usually.
Okay, but what if the workflow cannot run in 30 seconds?
The
Then
workflow. No, it's about the elements. It's not about the workflow. It's about the elements that they are actually meant to find.
yeah.
It's not about the workflow. It's about, and then, like for instance, you have let's say let's say this is a web page. And then we are saying that, okay, find the element. I think we can edit it, indicate on screen, do a fresh work. Okay, so we are saying find Gmail. So if you cannot find Gmail or find this, sorry, this is where we put all the apps, but what is the technical name for it?
Option.
This is what option icon.
Icon.
Okay, so if
hamburger.
This more that this entire thing, I think hamburger looks different from.
It's not hamburger.
It's not hamburger. Okay, whichever way, whether it's hamburger or okay.
Looks like a gallery.
You say what?
Looks like a
It's
gallery.
like a menu or something.
It's something like it's actually like that. I suppose there is no technical because I think it's Google. Like Google, it's a context-based icon. Kind of, it's not common to the technologies world as it were. But of course, let me just go for Gmail. That's once you can find this, find element. That's the element. That's an element. Okay, it has highlighted it in Gmail. I will put the timer for 30 seconds. So if we launch this program and it can't find it within 30 seconds, it will throw an error. It's just about this element called Gmail. That's all. It's not about the entire workflow. Okay, so that's about what's it called now? Question 12. Now, what does a dispatcher do? What does a dispatcher do? Okay.
So what's the answer that was on 12?
Yes, those highlighted ones. These ones, the length of each workflow, the application that is being automated, and an operations purpose.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay. Where are we? Okay, question 13. What does a dispatcher do? Okay, a dispatcher, I know it, we will get that better when Julius' testimony comes in. Okay, what dispatcher is, what performer is. Yes, of course, dispatcher can be used to get data to orchestrator, to upload it to orchestrator. Amarachi said something now. I didn't hear very well.
Yeah, it's used to get data.
Okay, yes, that's what.
While performer is to process data.
is to process it. Just that word. You know what this who dispatchers are in your offices. All right. Okay. All right. So that's what dispatcher what it does. So this will still. Okay, I think it's like the answer has been highlighted here on the screen. Okay, what does a dispatcher do? Using dispatcher and performer, we process transaction. That's a piece of work. Julius is going to, say something around this. All right, dispatcher, it uploads work to the queue. He mentioned assets yesterday. He's going to talk about queue, and of course, trigger. Trigger is not a serious thing. It's just for scheduling the activities of a robot. We're going to talk about queue, maybe also some things about assets. Okay, so then performance is used to process the work items uploaded by dispatcher. So from this, you see that the dispatcher goes ahead of performer. All right. Okay, so to answer the question, what does a dispatcher do? It sends the data directly to be processed by performer. It sends the processed data to the output files. It reads the data and populates a queue. Process the work items uploaded by performer. So, what is the right answer? The system of dispatcher from the system of dispatcher even in the advanced at the advanced stage. We'll see what dispatcher is, what performer, and how they are being used. Okay.
Sorry, sir, we didn't get the answer for that question.
So are we choosing A, Abi?
C.
Or
I think
C?
it's C.
Okay.
It reads the data and populates a queue.
I thought it's A.
And
But the reading data, is it part of it? Don't think that should be a function.
Dispatcher and performer to upload
now read this explanation. Read this.
Using dispatch, okay. Performer to process the work items uploaded by dispatcher.
So it means that the performer is going to work after the dispatchers must have worked. Why this upload the work items to the queue? Okay. This, what does this one do? It processes it.
The work items uploaded by dispatcher.
So what is our answer?
A.
Now we should actually, I think we should be debating between
A and C.
A and C. Our debate should be within
between it reads the data and populates the queue.
I think the answer should
between
be
A and C.
because
It
when
looks
you
like
talk
this would be
about
A.
A should
The
be
dispatcher to upload the work items.
So from the explanation there, I think it's likely to be A.
It should be A normal, but then C is really confirmed because
I'm not getting. I didn't hear that.
Remember, C is talking about the data and the dating queue, which is which can be performed. So I think the answer is A.
It's A, because from the explanation, the keyword in the explanation is using dispatcher to upload the work items to the queue. And from the option A, it says it sends the data directly. So being upload and sending the data, it's almost similar, sir. So that's what I'll
Okay.
go for A.
Okay, any objections? Is Theophilus in this class? Theophilus and say Yang, permit me. Okay, just mentioning names at random. Ruin, Samuel, Rachel, Buki. Do we have those? Do we have Ruin, Samuel, Rachel, Buki, and Yang, Theophilus? Do we have them here?
Hello, sir.
Okay, who is that? That sounds like Theophilus. Am I correct?
No, sir. This is Oluwashun.
Oluwashio Ojo?
No, please.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm not looking at my screen to see
It's
your
all
full.
right. It's all right.
Okay, yes. Okay, go ahead.
So I am going to go with C. It reads the data and populates a queue. And this is because from the definition we have at the bottom of what a dispatcher is, it reads to populate the work items to the queue. So the dispatcher would read the item and then dispatch or populate in this instance to the queue, which is now being worked on and processed by the performer. So I believe the answer should be C.
Okay, all right. I saw some persons A, and if you ask me, actually, I will go for C. Okay, I will go for C, and it's because of the explanation he just gave. Now, what the dispatcher will do, like what it will do is, let's say you have some data in Excel in your database. All right, so your dispatcher will read it. All right, and then what you have in your database in your Excel file, it sends it, okay, which is populate to the queue. It doesn't do anything. It is the performer that will now process what has been, as it were, populated. Now, option A says it sends the data directly to be processed by the performer. That is it. It sends data to be processed by the performer. Like this is looking like there is no interface between the performer and between the dispatcher and the performer. All right, but don't forget that it is the queue is the one that is interfacing all this. It is the queue that is going to interface for the dispatcher and for the performer. So that's why the queue here, the bringing in queue here, makes it to make more sense. If not, this actually it's so close, so close. Truth be told.
Hello, sir.
Okay, Amarachi, yes.
What is the
Yes,
difference
objection.
between what is the difference between sending data and getting data?
Sending data and reading.
Getting data. Getting.
And getting.
Yes, sir.
Sending data and getting data. I'm processing it. Like you have.
Yes, sir.
Okay, like I'm looking at a scenario to sending data. It's from one hand you are pushing it to another hand. Getting data is you are pulling it from the other hand. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to picture. It's like push and pull.
Now, okay, let's paint a picture now. If you want to, okay, can you differentiate sending data and getting data using Excel?
Okay. Using Excel, the same
Hello?
scenario. Hello, I can hear you. I heard you. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
yes, how do we send data? How do we get data to the queue in orchestrator, for instance?
Yeah.
Okay, from your Excel sheets.
Yes, sir.
You use yes, if you are, definitely you use your add queue item activity to do that. And what you do is your add queue item activity reads your data. It reads what you have in your Excel sheets. And you said?
It's like the
Hello?
person's
Hello?
mic is not muted.
Okay. All right, so it reads what you have in your Excel sheets and sends it to the queue. What's your take? You have something different? Let me hear you out.
Oh, not okay. What happened is this, I'm just
Yes, it's
want
guys.
to
Okay,
have
go ahead.
the
Okay, so we have.
I wanted to have the full understanding. Okay, when we say dispatcher is to get data, performer is to process data. Okay, so I'm just trying to see how I can relate that to, fetching data or sending data from Safer.
Okay, so would question 13. Yeah, someone wants to say something. I heard.
I actually have a question too. Is reading data the same thing as processing data?
That is that is where I have a kind of confusion.
It's reading data. Reading is the same thing as
Yes.
processing. It's
Yes.
not this. It's not the same thing. They are not. Hello. You say what?
Yes, I'm with you, sir. No, I said I think that's why C is the correct option.
It's not. Processing data, you are.
Read data is just like maybe get data.
Okay, like let me. I want to use something we have related with in this class before. Like what you have in. We keep using Excel because, of course, that's a major thing for us, even in this when it comes to orchestrator, we put a number of things in your Excel. Okay, yes, you have your data in your Excel. Now, everything you have in column 1, you can push it to so place. Now, processing is like what you have in column 1, you want to add it to what you have in column 2, or what you have in file. You want to add it or multiply it with what you have in. Do you get what I'm trying to say about processing and reading?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just from that point of view.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Yes. We should expect this, and we will expect more. We'll see more of this. Okay. I think I saw something. Okay, question 14. What happens when you click on?
Hello, sir.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hello. We still have. Yes. Hello.
Sorry, sorry to take you backward a little bit. Back to the question: the processing and the reading data. Hello.
Hello. Go ahead. Is that that sounds like Tiflos? Go
Yes,
ahead.
this is your philosophy.
All right.
Okay. I don't know if this illustration I'm going to give. Let me give the solution to understand if I actually understand what you just said. For an Excel file now, if so sorry for a PDF file, if I read the PDF file and probably just extract all the text from the PDF file, that should be like me just getting data. But if I actually take in some text from the PDF file and transfer it to an Excel sheet or store it somewhere else, something like that, does that mean I'm actually processing the PDF file? I don't know if this illustration is, I'm in line with what you're explaining, but I'm not getting it.
If you get, if extracted, let's say it's an extracted text
Yes.
from PDF. If
I
you
just
are,
I just read the text from the PDF file and store it probably in a variable. Then the other activity now, I'm actually getting text, several texts from the PDF and storing it, probably sending it to an Excel file. Should I say the later I'm processing the data, and the first I'm just reading the data?
okay, when you just extract, for instance, when you extract your data from Excel file, at that
PDF file.
instance, okay, sorry, at the PDF file, okay, that is you have that's like you are reading the data. All right, but now when you are manipulating, like, what do you want that extracted text? What do you really want it to do? Like, let's think of something. You want it
Maybe
to,
probably I want to copy it to maybe a text file, something like a notepad. I want to copy it to notepad probably.
okay, you want to copy to a notepad. Yes, so that's okay. That yes, you are processing in that case. In that instance.
All right.
Technically,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You are
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
So,
All right.
saying that means a nutshell. No, sir.
Okay, more questions. Where is it? Where am I?
Say in a nutshell,
Should I go on, sir?
Okay, let's Lucky. It's like his voice is louder.
sir, I say in a nutshell mean the final output is the process answer bar
Yes,
from
the
your
process.
illustration.
Yes, the output.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Shubu, I think the answer is C. Okay, Rachel. Okay, Rachel, I think the answer is C. Okay. Yes, Joe.
Yes, the Excel read range activity, does it just read data now or process it?
Like the read range, for instance.
Yes, sir.
Read range, it's so specific, as in it's reading, it's simply reading.
Okay, but the storing part, does it make it like a process? You know, it
Now,
reads then stores.
when you read it, you read it from an Excel sheet, and then sometimes you assign. Let's say you assign. Okay, let's so happen to the one in this row 2, and all of that dots to string. As in, okay, let's at that instance, you are not merely reading it. You are now using what you have read. Hello, Joe.
Yes, thanks, sir.
I don't know if you got my analogy.
Yes, sir, I got it, sir.
Yes, that's why. Let me go back and say this thing. Okay, looking at it, I looked at it to be very factual with you, and of course after removing the ones that are seriously far from it. So you see, the first one, it sends the data directly to be processed by the performer. Okay, and sincerely speaking, it looks so much like, okay, this thing is sending it, and then the performer takes it on from there. Gosh. Please, can you please mute your mic? This thing is booming. Oops. Please mute, let everyone mute his mic. You know, we are using headset, so it makes the sound, when it is bad, it brings it closer to our ears, and we cannot run away from it. Please. All right, so yeah. Now the first one looks like it's just directly, it's doing a direct handshake with the performer, but in the true sense of it, the dispatcher, it depends on what you have in the dispatcher. Actually, it's like a component in the queue. When I say this, it's a component, like what the queue is working with. So the option C is really bringing in the picture of what the dispatcher is working with, that it's actually it's working with a queue. So it's not standing on its own. It's not as if it's just relating with performer directly. It's not just an handshake, direct handshake between dispatcher and performer. There is a queue involved. That's actually the dimension that makes the C a more proper option. Okay, what happens when you click on an activity or container in the call stack panel? What happens? Did we? No, we did not. Call stack, that should be in debug. Okay.
You focus on it, sir.
Really? Okay. Is that the? You have this, you focus on it. This one says nothing. What happens when you click? This one says, you say what?
I go with you focus on it.
Okay. The two voices sounds the same. Or is it the same person that said you focus
yes,
on
it's
it?
the same person, yes.
Okay. It stands as a,
let's consider those two.
we should consider which two? This
A and B.
A and B, this.
Yes, sir. So
okay, that none of this. You have taken away your focus on it. So which one does the work of focusing on the activity?
Okay, no, that would be A and D. Sorry.
A and what?
A and D. Focus on it.
Okay, you have taken this out. This two.
It should collapse, or I don't know. I can't see the option there.
Please,
I'm
can you
actually
show
going
the
to-
practical?
I didn't get
The answer will be you
focus on it is the answer.
Sir,
That's
let's
what I'm actually
practicalize
doing.
it. Focus on it is the answer. I agree with you. Focus on it, sir.
So it's in your debug.
Ribbon.
Okay, you notice the blue banner changed to call it orange. You are good. All right, so this is the call stack panel. This is the breakpoint. This is output. This is the local. This is the watch. All right, so this is the call stack. All right, here we have the first, just isn't in Nigeria.
So we should use slow step.
Okay, this is a function. This slow step, you look at it very keenly, you see that it is at off. It's at off. That means there is no speed as it were applied. No, okay, so when you click on it, it shows 1x, 1 hex, that is times 1. This aspect is another technical aspect that can generate debate. That does it mean it is slower or it is faster with 1x? Okay, when you click on it again, okay, it tells it you see 2x, 2 times slower or 2 times faster.
Faster.
Okay.
I think 2 times
Faster,
slower.
sir.
Faster.
It's to 4. So it's faster.
Is it faster? Okay. Can you read the prompt?
Faster. Debug at slower speeds from the slowest 1x to the fastest 4x speed, using highlights to monitor each step of the execution flow.
So it is faster.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is 3 times. This is 4 times. So we should go for. Let's go
1.
for 1. Okay. Let me apply. I want to apply breakpoints. So, see. Okay. I've applied breakpoint on message box on this, so okay, it's without any touch. So let's see, core stack. Okay, and then core stack is bringing this message box sequence. All right. So what else is it? Since we are to focus on it, so we have to look at the sequence. We are looking at activity type. We are looking at the file. But what do we see under locals? We see like everything. We see the name, but in fact, we see just too many things. Okay. The property is also under locals. So the local, it's like it's a general, like it's a general panel. I'm the one giving it that name. Okay. So this is the core stack. We look at it to say message box. So what is it giving us? Can step into. When we step into it, comes to this. Okay, so we can also look at this is the core stack. So it's under the sequence. Don't forget, if it's a complex project that I've done, we'll be able to see where this was under which sequence. Yeah, this can be found, and then in a more complex situation, we'll be able to say, okay, is it under this main file or another file that consists of the workflow? So we can use that to just to have idea of what the activities going on within the workflow.
Sam, should we click on it to see
on this?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Hello.
But when you come to, yeah, Amarachi, okay, go ahead.
Okay, no, I thought I'm disconnected.
When you come to text and you click, you can still, there are some values that you can still add, like from Word, for instance, let's say what expression? You can still, from this other panel, you can still do things even while you are debugging. A string. All right, you can add more, you can. Okay, so let's, if this stops now. Okay, this where is it? So what you have in this, what we added in the AdWord, you can use it to look at what will happen if this is added at that realm while you are debugging. Okay, if this value is added, what change is it going to give me? Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Okay. Hello.
Sorry, please. Are we still observing our 8 o'clock break?
Oh. Well, it's been unconventional, to be candid. Like, it's not been static. It's not been sticking to 8. Sometimes 8, sometimes 8:10. Sometimes even number, sometimes odd number. So, but we do observe, except for maybe, I think it was only yesterday, there was a day that we did not observe the 8 o'clock break. I guess it was because maybe because I came in late or so. Yeah. Okay. All right. So since that's a very technical way of saying that we need to go on break.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. You didn't tell me. I thought you guys do. I thought the break is not really useful. Okay. So in that case, so we'll come back by 20.
Yeah,
All
hungry.
right. 26.
Mr. Blizzard, you're a
Yeah,
politician.
hungry.
Can you imagine? I'm a politician. I don't know if I should be crying or I should be because to say that I'm a politician, I don't know what you mean. No. Okay, well then I take it that you mean you meant that I know what I'm doing.
Your reply was diplomatic, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Yes, you are
so
diplomatic, sir.
well, really, it's okay. Okay, well, it's good to be a political element, especially if you are wise. It's good for you. If you are not, it's bad. So let me take it that I'm a politician.
Like people.
You say what?
That sounds like P2B.
Hey, my father. Okay, anyway, Peter Obi, I know him, and I know others. This platform, it's just for iMark Academy, okay? So maybe we'll open another Telegram group for whosoever you are pushing for, okay? You must be tactical when you are dealing with people. Of course, we have all manners of brains here. We have very great brains here, so and people with different personalities and backgrounds and exposure. So we cannot just be autocratic. Else I will lose you. So I also have to be I have to be a political person for your own sake. All right, thank you. Okay, so our break still by 8:26. Don't forget when we come in, those that will be speaking to us, they're already here. I don't know. I would like to crave the indulgence of Mr. Korede. So because it's meant to talk by heads and why Julius and the testimony takes it off from there. Okay. I know Julius will be using Julius and testimony will be using their break periods, to come to us. So I want to, on that ground, want to request that if Mr. Korede could help to move to when maybe to past 9 or at 9, because definitely the Julius testimony team, they will be stopping by 9. So that means we only have about 30 minutes for them. Okay. All right. You are welcome, Mr. Julius. You are welcome, Mr.
Okay.
Korede. You are welcome, testimony. Is testimony here?
All right, sir. So 9 p.m., right?
Yes. Is that fine by you?
Yes, it's fine.
I know you give it to me, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Julius. Okay, all right. We are welcome back to class. Okay, if you can hear me, I hope nothing has gone wrong since we went on break. With respect to my device, so that's why I have to check again.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay, so yeah, so we have Julius in-house testimony. All right, so yes, we need to tie it up and have a very because of we are doing this because of the direction they've taken, the height to which they have taken this uh, the class on orchestrator, the language, and and that matters a lot. It matters a lot. All right, so I hand over to the team, Julius testimony. They have just 30 seconds, sorry, 30 minutes to help us in this regard. I know questions may come up. Just let's, because it's 30 minutes, let's see a way whereby we can maybe keep it till towards the end, and then we look at it together because of the time involved. Please, thank you. Okay, yeah. Testimony, are you there? Testimony.
Yes. Good
Okay,
evening.
okay. All
Yes,
right, good evening. Okay. So I'm sure you already have your plans, yourself and Mr. Julius. Okay, so how is it going this evening?
Well, Mr. Julius
Fine.
said that. Hello?
Hello, yeah, go
Hello.
ahead.
Okay. So we are together. We are here to see what we can do since we are going to be handling the other parts, the remaining parts of the orchestrator.
All
And
right.
I still think a few other things are needed as we go on. A quick one so that we can quickly merge everything. The last time we talked about the orchestrator, how we could publish our file, our project to the orchestrator. We saw how we can use the assistant to run the orchestrator. And we also saw what an asset is. We saw the various folders, what they do, and the tenants as well. So all of these things put together, we'll just quickly, I think we stopped somewhere around the tenant. So let me see if I still have the project, or we'll just quickly publish one. So having said this few, I am here with my colleague, Testimony. Testimony, can you say hi to the class?
Yes, thank you.
You didn't say hi. It's just a thank you.
Sorry. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So we are together going to be taking the other half part of the orchestrator. So a quick one so that we don't just do more of the talking, since we have less time to do what we can do here. Okay, let me just share my screen. I guess my screen is visible.
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. Not yet. Okay. I really need to check again.
Okay, so as you are bringing up your screen, let me also share this, that the class is a robust class. We have different levels of learners and graphing power or abilities. So you would you may need to use some familiar terms, with us, and not use your your guide top terms. You understand what I mean, Mr. Julius? Okay, so without assuming that, oh, these people, they have been on this program, so they are already developers, so let me just load them. Maybe the only thing they are yet to get is orchestrator. They already know everything. So, alright, so okay, you can just try to go as simple as possible. Yes, yeah, all right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I get you visible.
Yes,
I don't know
I can
if you can see my
see
screen.
it's coming up from my own side. It's coming up gradually.
Okay.
Yes, we can see.
I think now we can see it now.
Okay. The last time we were working on a simple project, I just wanted, let me see, we were working on a simple project. I just want to go back to that simple project where we talked about the asset, and on the asset, a quick one, it's like I was too fast last time, but I was saying something about the orchestrator and the UI assistant, that both of them are the same thing. It's just that one sits on the cloud, the other sits on your machine. I think I'm trying to see the best simpler and slow method we could use. And why talking about that? So more often I'll just be running my project from the assistant. I guess we can see my assistant. How the assistant, just click on start, type assistant, or just type assistant. There you will see UiPath assistant. This is the icon. And when you click that, you get something like this. And this automatically fetch every process or job you have in the orchestrator into your terminal. And from here, I can easily just run whichever I want to run. I can do whatever I want to do. So I have this to run. Let me close this. So I have this to run. So let's use this one we were using before. And if I run this, I think I'm okay. I think I'm running the wrong one. This is not that one. But I know we actually work on this. So let me just go straight to, this should be the project we have. And no, this not. Or we can just build a fresh project.
I think we use this project.
Go and look for.
I think we use this project.
No, the project I just displayed has a form activity, and I think they are not on that level of that form activity. That's
okay. I get it. Just all right. That's good.
Yeah. So So we talked about the orchestrator, and this is the orchestrator. And we said to go to the orchestrator, you can then use cloud.UiPath. Whichever you use will take you to the orchestrator platform. And in that orchestrator platform, all you just have to do is to log in. So for those that were not in class the previous time, I'll just simply log out, so that we'll look at this orchestrator and say slow. So to log out, I'll just simply click my JA and log out. So having known that orchestrator and the UiPath assistant, they are same thing, the cloud and the UiPath they are the same thing. So we talked about publishing a project, and to publish a project, you just open your UiPath Studio, and we talked about the UiPath. The complete set of the UiPath consists of 3 basic modules. This one is the studio where the developer uses to write their code, which is this interface we are seeing. But the robot, the UiPath robot, though, let's execute our code, just execute them and display the tasks that the code is supposed to do. So it's the robot that does that. Then the orchestrator helps us to manage all the robots, logs, and processes in the orchestrator as the brainwork or the nerve system of the UiPath. So he does, or you go here, you do here, assemble all of them. So the management process is there. And that is where we are going on the cloud.
Okay, Mr. Julius. Mr. Julius.
So why that one is there?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you have any existing job
yes.
in your orchestrator? Now.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll have to.
Okay, I'm looking at if it's possible to use that job, not the not grad leader. I mean the one you specified as training for training purpose or something. If you can just use that one and take us on the queue, that aspect it really bothers me. Yeah, it's my I want us to really focus on that. On publishing, I want to believe they don't have issues with publishing at all. Do you get? I'm trying to manage time as a class moderator. Hello, did you get me?
Yes, can you share your system so that we can work together?
I didn't get that.
Yeah, share your hello testimony. Share your screen.
Okay.
I think testimony.
Oh, the signal isn't so
I'll share my
friendly.
screen.
Okay. So we want to see. Oh.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Okay, please, can you share them? It's like my own is.
Myself?
System. Lady T, are you there?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen now.
Okay, thank you.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Not yet.
Oh. Can anyone else see it?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Yes, we can.
I think it's probably Mr. Julius.
Okay, I think let me use the application to connect instead of the web. Okay, I think I need to log out from the web. Let me log in with the application. I think problem. So it's only in the system.
You can still see the screen.
No, not yet. So.
Oh, you can't. Oh, okay. I will share. Can you see the screen now?
No, this is I went back.
I did not hear you.
The thing is not showing.
Yes.
Back and came back.
No,
You
please.
can see.
Testimony, not yet.
I did not hear you.
Okay. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Okay. I think internet issues from Julius's side. Okay. Okay. So testimony. You have your screen
Yes.
with us. Okay.
Yes. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
What do you want us expect to see on your screen?
Orchestrator
I
in the
said, what do you
background
expect
and
us to see on
Teams.
your screen?
Yes, I said orchestrator in the background and then Teams in front.
Yes, we can see it.
The Teams in the
Yes, we
Okay.
can. Yes, we can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So,
We have this. We have this test queue.
okay then.
So.
Okay.
Okay. Like before you came in, sorry, a moment, please. My testimony. Before you came in, we treated a question, and it borders on dispatcher and performer. That a dispatcher, what it does is to upload work item to a queue and performer processes it. Okay. Now we want to see, is it possible? I'm looking at the simplest thing to do. Okay, just show us something about queue, about a process from the orchestrator, from the, we don't have issues with the studio now. We know how it came in. I think you already showed us how what a package is. It is the same thing as a project offline, in customs mode. How you can add it to how you can add it to a process, and when you add it to a process, what other things? How can we use queue, for instance, and then issues that border on all these like in queue, we have all these priority, high, low, normal, and then explanations around it, which one comes up, then triggers, also scheduling. Okay, there are questions around triggers too, so something like that. I hope Mr. Julius will be accommodated soon enough. Okay, let's go. Thank you.
Okay. So let us start here because I have processes here. So let's go to the triggers tab first. So trigger we have two types of triggers. We have the one that can be started with time. I think it's called time triggers, and the one that can be started with a queue. That's queue triggers. So if I click add a new trigger now, Yeah, you can see one that has time, schedule a recurrent time to start a job, and queue, start a job when new items are added to a queue. So let's start with time trigger. So basically, it's going to schedule a job, maybe every minute, every 5 minutes, depending on what is set. So let's first start with the time trigger. So let me call this, okay, publish demo trigger. That's the name. And then this is just the name of the trigger. So we have to select a process name. So now let's use that same publish demo. That was the code that we wrote the last time, which is just outputting a message, publish demo. So this process name now. So if you remember, it was just outputting a message. I can't remember what the message was about, but it was outputting a message. And then this job priority, same thing that we know there's high, normal, low. But we can also use inherited. Inherited means it's inheriting the priority of the job from this process. So when we created the process, publish demo, we gave it priority of normal. So this priority here is going to, this trigger is going to inherit the priority. So it's also going to be normal. You can choose to change it to high or normal or low. So high priority jobs will run first before normal priority jobs, and normal priority jobs to be run first before low priority jobs.
Okay, sorry, I have a question on that. Sorry for cutting in. Yeah, if we have, for instance, if we have 3 jobs and two has been set on I, and of course with different timing. So how would they run? 3 jobs, 2 of those jobs they've been set on high priority. The third one maybe on low. Okay, and then so no. Now amongst the 2 high priority jobs, which one will run ahead of the other, and why?
Okay.
Thank you.
I think it also includes the timing. When there's cohesion of or clashes of both jobs at the same time, the one with the higher priority will run first before the other one. That's when the priority comes in.
Okay. Okay, but now in this situation whereby the 2 of them, 2 of the jobs, there are 3 jobs. Now 2 of them have been set on high priority. So what other yardstick will be used to consider if this one with high priority should go before the other one with high priority? Hello?
Hello?
Okay, so please go ahead. Please, just go ahead. Yes.
So for that, if you set 2, for example, if the jobs are both high priority,
Yeah.
and then now there is also different time. So the priorities are both the same. So now what it's going to look at first is now the time.
All right.
So
okay.
if both jobs have the same priority, then the time is first going to be looked at.
Okay, all right.
So if we just have two jobs with same priorities,
okay,
then the one that yes, the one that has the time, the one that has the earlier time is going to run first.
Okay, I get that. Okay, you can go ahead. Just Kendi, later, Kendi. Don't worry. It will be resolved, please. Please keep your no, not you. Kendi, keep your hands up so that I will not forget. Just to alert me. Okay, go ahead, test. Go ahead, make the testimony.
Okay. So I was saying, yes, so this inherited now is going to inherit the priority from the process, this published demo process that we've already published. So now the production runtime is just, if we are using the runtime we are using now, we are using unattended. So if you look at it, it's production unattended. So we are running it with an unattended robot. So here you can either choose to select a robot, select a machine, or you can choose any machine. So I can choose to select Mida Tessie because I have two machines. So I can choose to select any of these two. But if I put any machine, then any machine is going to run it. And the robot is going to allocate it dynamically. And I only have one robot here, so I only have one unattended robot since I'm using Academic Alliance. So I can't, it's same thing if I choose to use this or use any user robot, since I just have one.
All right.
Okay. So now this is the time zone, because we are running, this is a time trigger. So we are running it based on the time that we set. So you can set time zone. So this is West Central Africa. So we can use UTC +1. So now I will choose, you can either choose to run it every so minutes, for example, or hourly. So you can say every 1 hour, something minutes. We can choose daily. We can choose weekly. So maybe every Monday, every Sunday at so and so time. We can choose monthly also, or advanced also, where we set it ourselves. But let's use every minute now. Let's use every 1 minute, so we'll be able to see how it works. 1 minute. Okay. So yes, let's leave this blank. Schedule ending of job execution. So this is just to set when the job is going to stop executing. But we are not going to set it here. And automatic trigger disabling also, which we are not going to schedule also automatic trigger disabling. So if we choose a date here, then at this particular date and time that we set, the trigger is just going to be disabled. It's not going to work. It's not going to work anymore. Let's first run it without setting this. We can come back to set it later. So if we don't set this, it's just going to continue running every 1 minute until we stop it ourselves. But here, if we select it, then it's going to stop running. The process is going to stop running every 1 minute if we set it here. But let's not set it. So let's just add it now. So it has been successfully set up. So you can see the next runtime is in a few seconds. So let us wait for some few seconds and see. You will see it's going to run in some few seconds now. Since we set it to just be every 1 minute. So let's wait a bit. So you can see training on orchestrator. So if I click, this was what we set, the published demo process that we wrote. This was training on orchestrator that we outputted. So let me press OK now. You see it will still run again. Every 1 minute is going to continue running. Okay, you can see now, training on orchestrator. It has output this message box again. So if we leave it, it will just keep on running every 1 minute. So until we disable it, we can either choose to disable it or remove it entirely. So we'll not have this trigger again. So let me disable it now. So it is disabled. It's not going to run again. If we wait for 1 minute, it's not going to run at all again.
Okay, we believe that.
Yes. We can also remove it entirely. So it will not be part of these triggers anymore. Let me click remove.
I hope we will not need it again.
No, I do not think so. Did somebody say something?
Please, Amarachi, I've seen your hands up. Yeah, you'll be the second person to ask your question. You say what? Okay, go ahead. Testimony. Time is fighting with us seriously.
Okay, so we just demonstrated time triggers. So let me add a new trigger and we should see queue triggers. So this is queue trigger now. So with this queue trigger, basically it just starts a job when a new item is added to a queue. So here we can select it. Let's say queue demo, then process name. Okay, so we might have to build a new project that will add items to queue.
Okay, exactly. A new project that will do what? I need that verb. That will do what?
That will add items to queue. Because now I don't have any queue. I don't think I have any queue. So I have to build a process
so
that will add items to queue.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's go.
Okay. So yeah, just create it. We should put description, but since this is just a demo. And yes, while this is loading, just because I think I'm not sure if maybe this is what Dr. Ebenezer was asking, because I remember it's a question that used to come out regularly. Oh, I saw a lot in past questions. So for items with same priority, for example, say II, for example, if you want to process jobs, the way it processes it is, it first of all checks those with a deadline. That we set deadline for. It checks them in order of priority. So maybe we have 4 processes and 2 have deadline, 2 does not have deadline. Let's say those without deadline, the 2 of them are I. And then those 2 with deadline, one is I, one is normal. It is first going to run those 2 with deadline. Okay, let me just open, see if I can open a notepad. Just so that I can explain this better. So let's say we have job A, priority of I, and deadline. Let's say the deadline was set to 12. What month? July. Yes, okay, thank you. 07/2022. And then we have B. Priority of low. Let me use normal. And deadline of, let's say, 14:07. Yes. No, not 14. Let me use 10:07. Then we have C. Priority of I, no deadline was set. And then we have D. Priority of, let's say, low, and no deadline was set. So the way this is going to be processed, the robot will first check those with deadline. So C and D will not be checked first. A and B will be checked because they have deadline. So this A and B will first be checked. Then the first one that will run here is going to be the one with higher priority. You can see the deadline of the lower one is closer than the deadline of the higher one, but it's the one with higher priority that will first run. So let's say we have another one, let's say E here. E, priority of low, deadline of, let's say, tomorrow. I think tomorrow is 6. And say we now have another one here with deadline set. Let's say F. Priority of I and the deadline is 13. Okay. So what is going to happen is it will first check those with deadline first. Then after checking those with deadline, it will not check the ones with higher priority. So it's first going to check A and F first because they have higher priority. So because now A and F has higher priority, it will not check the deadline. It's not checking the deadline at first. It is checking those with or without deadline. So AEBF has deadline, so it will check those ones. Now it will not check the ones with the higher priorities. That's A and F. So because the deadline of A is closer, so A will first run, then F, then to now go back to the normal. There's only one normal, so it is the normal one that will run, B, then low, which is going to be. Then it will now come back to those with no deadline, and to now run it in order of priority again, high and low. C will run before D. So now let's say that there's another one with no deadline. Let's say G. G with priority of I and no deadline. So how will you run this? So because C and G have the same priority, right? It is going to run with the first one that came in. See, if C came in first, C will run before G. If G came in first, G will run before C. And that's how it's going to run. So maybe, I don't know, I think you should be able to find it online. It is called the processing order criteria for jobs, and it states that the first one, I don't know if I have time to write it, but I'll try to be fast. Those with deadline in order priority and according to deadline with those of same priority. Then it will now check those without deadlines. Those without deadline in order of priority and according to the rule, first in, first out. For those with same priority, or let me say for items with the same priority. Yeah, so this is this. I can drop it in the chat.
So that's the take-home material. Are you selling this or what? Is it like the lecturer's handouts?
Yes, I can send it. I'll send my account number.
You still want
I
to?
like more.
Mr. Julius, can you hear a testimony? He still wants account number despite all that. Do you support that?
No, I was thinking you gave the offer, so she just has to grab it.
Okay, all right. I think there are big guns in this class, so you can send your account number, no problem. All right. Okay, that's a good one. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really the okay. Okay.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
so
go
before
ahead.
Okay. So before we do the Q trigger, maybe we should first. Okay, let's write the code first. So, what should we do? Okay, let's say we should add
Let's
item.
first of all create the queue. Create the queue with the queue name so that we can bring the queue name to on the orchestrator. So add queue.
So add queue. So I went to the queue tab and add queue. Create a new queue. So let's say have test queue. So let me say demo queue. Yes, demo queue. And then first unique references. Like this is to make sure that this description it is best practice to put it, but since we are just doing practice, we are not going to put it. And then first unique references mean that all the queues will have a unique reference. You don't have to click it. Store in encrypted format. I think this is to just store the queue items with the encrypted format. So maybe they'll need an API to read it. And in auto retry means that if it doesn't run, it's going to retry. And you can set the maximum number of retries here. We can increase it. So number of times it's going to retry if it doesn't run. So let's leave it at 1. So yeah. And we are not adding any JSON schema because we want to add to the queue. Since we want to demonstrate queue trigger, so we want to keep on adding to the queue as so a user adds an item to the queue or as the process adds an item to the queue. We want a trigger to run. So we are not passing any schema here.
Okay. So this process of adding to the queue is actually called a dispatcher.
Did you say something?
Yes, I just want them to know that the process of adding to the queue is called dispatcher. So when you design a workflow that reads data and populates them for the purpose of transaction into a queue, that process is called dispatcher.
Okay, okay, please take that again. Okay. Okay, all right. Please break it down.
That's right.
Okay, so there are 2 processes in performing your entire project. One reads data, get this data from any source and populate it into a queue. The purpose you are populating, okay, let's take a queue as a transaction where a group of people comes to the bank. They'll have to line up first in, first out. That is the symbol of a queue. Now, when you read this data, they will come as like a transaction of first in, first out. as you store them in the orchestrator so that you can then perform transactions in the future on them is called, hello?
Yes,
Hello,
go
can you
ahead.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So when you read data so that you can use the data for further transaction and you store them in a queue, that process is called dispatcher. Just to read data and store in a queue. It's called dispatcher. It has nothing to do with the transaction. Then there's another process that reads from the queue or from your storage and then perform transaction on those storage, those stored information, those stored data. The process that read and process transaction on those storage is called the performance. So we have the dispatcher and the performance as two separate entities. So the dispatcher is what she is explaining now, that you get this data and stored in a queue. So that full process is dispatcher.
So
I don't
everything
know
takes
whether I communicated that.
everything takes place in a queue.
Sir, please, can you go over
Yes.
performance?
Now, performance is a workflow that reads data from a queue or from a storage and perform transaction on that queue.
Please, Mr. Chidos, remove the word perform so that it will not be like tautology.
Okay.
Yes, we know that it's a performer,
Now,
it performs. Okay.
okay. First of all, let's get the reason why the dispatcher exists is so that you can carry out transaction. I just told you what a queue is. Just take a queue like a bank where people come in and they want to make their deposit. They will have to line up. So that's, just take that as a symbol. So you read those data and store and push them to a queue. That is dispatcher. When you now pick those data back and then do some processes to finalize what you want to do with those data, that process of reading those data to do some other thing is called performance.
Performer.
Get it? One read the data and store in a queue or storage. In that process, go to that storage, pick those data, and carry out functionality around those data. And each time it's done with those data, it can then mark their state to I am done. Then in this process of queue performance, the state is either successful, abandoned, pending, or new. So those are the states. You will see it when she starts.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so let's now testimony, since you've been asked to go ahead. So go ahead and let's see where this leads to. Amarachi's and this is up Theophilus, and I know that there will be issues around this same this concept we are looking at, most especially because we just talked about it before you came in. You know. All right, and I promise that even when you come around, okay, you're going to talk about it. Can you see hands?
Sorry.
Can you see hands coming up?
My
Vivian,
signal lost.
Vivian, Adedigba, Kende, Theophilus, Amarachi. Oh my God, it's serious. What do we do?
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry. It's like this signal threw me off.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
I think we are clear with the performance.
I think we should just go on and let her demonstrate it. Maybe when she's done.
Okay.
Okay. So this retention policy, yes.
Okay. Testimony,
Yeah.
for the sake of time, just leave everything as default and add for the sake of time.
Okay. So I've created demo queue. This is the one we just created. So back to the project. So maybe we should use maybe we should use this. So let's say choose yes or no.
Add queue. Add queue. Hello. Use add queue.
I wanted to use add to queue based on the user's input. Okay. Let me just do this.
Okay, okay.
So let's just add queue item. So once we run this process, an item will be added. So let me copy the name of the queue here, demo queue, and add it here. This is the queue name. So just paste the queue name here. So we add, so the priority is normal. Let's not change it. There's a deadline here. Date before the item should be processed. You're not setting it. Item collection. So if you want to add not just one, maybe a dictionary of items, we can add here. So also this is the item information. Since if we choose to add a collection of dictionary here, then postpone date after which it should be processed. Deadline is date before it should be processed. Postpone is deadline which after it should be processed. Then priority, yes. So let's just leave everything with defaults. Here. So now what should we add?
Just add student's first name and last name.
Okay.
Click on the three dots on the selection. No, just click on the three dots on the selection so that you can use the argument to populate it.
Okay.
Collection. The testimony, I don't if we could, let's do the property tab to add it instead of adding from default. Since we're taking them from scratch. Hello? Lady T, it's like we lost her. Hello? Hello?
Okay, it seems Lady T has been thrown
Like
out.
we have lost her on the network. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if anybody has system that can help us come up. Okay, before she come, Though we'll be using our own. Let me see if I can just do what she was about doing, so that if she just comes, she'll just go with that.
I must apologize sincerely. This is almost Mr. Koride. I don't know. I'm very sorry. I am very, very sorry.
Not a problem, Dr. Edwin.
I'm seriously grateful to hear this from you. It's like giving me cold water in a very hot, under very scorching sun. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
So, and thank you, Mr. Julius, because I don't know. I said, have you put your robots in the other class? Why we have the real person here? How are you managing it? Yes, you're welcome back. Testimony.
Sorry, my laptop got disconnected.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, sorry.
And also the third party I'm going to apologize to is those that are raising their hands and have not acknowledged. I'm so eager to have this. This was not our agreement. Time is really manipulating me right now against what we agreed on with respect to raising questions. And okay, so while that is going on, you are, who is this now? Okay, Mr. Julius. All right.
So I just wanted to quickly show the class that they could just add a queue using this one, and maybe.
Okay, using argument now.
Yes.
Where did you pick it from?
With that, you will.
Okay, don't worry.
So
you
can get the arguments using the collection. You could see the collection.
Okay, guys, that's taking. I'm doing this on purpose.
And on the property, because I have not created queue on my environment now. So they can start raising their questions.
Okay.
Because we are out of time.
Yes. All right, so I have Amarachi. Amarachi, can you please raise your question? After that, then we have Omotayo Kendi raise his question. I will have Sylvester, I don't know who came earlier than the other, maybe Sylvester, and then I'll have Theophilus. I think Theophilus, okay. Theophilus comes third, then Adedigba Sylvester comes fourth. Okay, so just raise all your questions at the same time. Okay, Amarachi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, my question is on the first job. Okay. So I saw when the message box populates. So Madam T click on OK button. Hello?
Yeah, the quality of your audio is not so great. Hello, I can hear you actually. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, I said when Madam T run the first job. Okay, so I saw when she clicked on OK. I wouldn't say button anyways. So does this mean that if you don't click on that OK, the second job will not run?
Okay, that Lady T, did you get that question?
Yes.
You remember? Okay, just get prepared. All right.
Sorry, we don't get that question.
I got so since we just have one, I have just one robot in my environment. If you remember, I chose any robot, but I still just have one. So while that one is still running, because there's only one robot, and that robot, it's only if I click OK that it's able to end the process. So if I don't click OK, the next job that is supposed to run, which is after 1 minute, will be in pending. But if you have more than one robot in the system, then another robot can run it. But because we just have one, I just have one robot in that particular environment, and I just have one robot, my orchestrator, then it will be pending until I click OK and that process completes running.
So what is the essence of calling it unattended robots? I don't really get it.
Okay. And in addition to what she just said, the process has not ended. Is at the end of a process, the next one pick up. Since you are having one robot, as she said, and that process, if you are running your normal that process in your normal studio, you see that the process has not ended until you click OK, because that is a message bus. A message bus is user interactive. Only when user interacts with the message bus before it moves to the next process in your coding. And that is why she has to click OK for the process to end.
So in a nutshell, my question is clicking the OK mandatory?
Yes, very mandatory, because you say when you are writing code, when you are designing a code, there is a code that interacts with human being. Until human being interacts, and message box is one of those kind of interactive code. There are others that run on the background process. Assuming she has used a background process, she will not have to click OK. But because she used a message box that interacts on the front end with human first before the next action, you have to interact with it. So the OK is the interaction on a message box.
Okay, so it's clear.
Okay, all right, Theophilus. Yeah, a very fast one.
Good evening, Mr. Julius.
Good evening, sir.
Lady Testimony explained, there's an illustration she explained concerning job processing order. I just want to confirm, is that just peculiar with, is it for queue triggers or for time-based triggers? If it's for queue triggers, do you have something similar for time triggers, the job processing order?
Okay, good. That question, that's information she gave you was an insight on how performance workflow runs its process. Now, when you put things in a queue, it doesn't work with your trigger, can work whether with the process, but at the long run, when you design a workflow, it is the execution of your workflow that matters. So when it comes to performance, which you call value from your queue and work. So your queue, assuming, I don't know, let me just quickly share my screen and show you something about the queue. Sorry. So that I can best answer your question. Like this is a queue item. Now, everything that works in the cloud is as a result of what you put in this part of your queue item. Now, every queue item will either have this deadline or this priority. So what she was explaining to you is each item in the queue that has this priority. So if they must be executed, let's assume you have robots that want to execute your queues, your transaction. Let's take instance of a First Bank. Let's assume 10 persons walk into First Bank, and maybe 3 of them are related to the bank manager. Well, let's take those ones as high priority. And let's assume among the 3 that walks into First Bank, 2 came early and 1 came very, very late. Then the other, they are not related. Let's just take these ones as low. Then those two that came early, that are related to the manager, will first of all be attended to. And the last one that came late, then because it's related to the manager, will also be attended to before the other 7 that are not related. So that's a function of this deadline that she was explaining. So it has nothing to do with the time trigger or the queue trigger. That time trigger was to tell you that when you set a job, you want this job to run at any time. Maybe you don't want, okay, let's take an unattended robot. You want to run a business where you don't want human being to do work, and your business run from Monday to Fridays. It doesn't run on Saturday and Sunday. You could use your time trigger and set that job for only Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So when these days come, the robot is and fire up. All of them will then follow whatever each item holds, whether they are high priority or low priority. That's the job that pertinent to the item here. But that trigger will always set based on your timing. Then that's what the time trigger she told you. Then for the queue trigger, let's assume a case where you want your robot to always check mail. Anytime a new mail come into your system, then the robot should do something. You want to trigger another job. So the queue trigger will always work. Anytime the robot see a mail, he will push that mail to the queue. Then as the queue, as the message, a job. So that's quite logically different from what you are asking. Then what you are asking is all about how items are arranged in queue and how they are executed. They are executed exactly the way she told you. That first, if you have 10 items in the queue and they are high priority and they have their dates, their date of deadline also matters to you. The earliest date in the deadline and highest priority will be treated first. So first of all, if you have those items listed, just look at all of them that has high priority. They should be the one to be treated first, only if they have deadline. Now, I think she explained all of those things. I will not have time to write all of them, but just look at high priority and a deadline.
I get the point.
Thank you. Those one will be treated first. Thank you.
Okay, one time I'll 10 days back. Okay, the one time.
All right, sir.
Amarachi, you can do that with your hands. Thank you.
My first question, I think that has been clarified. Is if the issue of first come first serve also applies to queue, as in the priorities and some other things, and that has been clarified. So the second one is the like running a robot now. Probably maybe you set the time you set for it is like 12 a.m. That's in the midnight, and maybe part of the process to be executed, maybe the robot has to fetch a file from my laptop or from my system. But meanwhile, that time, maybe me, I've even switched off the laptop and the laptop is offline. So would the robot be able to pick whatever file from my system? Maybe the files are stored in the particular folder. Would the robot be able to pick it and work on it even while I am offline or while the system is switched off? Then the third one is it only process that can be added to queues? Because I could see adding process, not adding like a package a package that has been stored there. Is it must the job to be added to queue, must it be process? And the last one is if one can pick a project that is not in this from the studio, maybe something I have already saved on my system. If that such project also such a project can also be uploaded to the queue. Thank you.
Okay. Your questions are very, very many, but we will try and take them one by one. Okay. The first one, you talked about it has been answered, so I won't go to that one. The second one, you said, is it job that is added to the queue? No. You could see her dragging these objects or this activity into the workflow.
No. I meant if it is only
this
process that can
activity
be added
to the queue. No, that's what I'm saying. A process, first of all, let's differentiate between process and an item. A process is the code leads to orchestrator and is now blended with a machine. That is full process. It's different from queue. You don't add a process to queue. So what you add to queue is item. And this activity is what helps you to add an item. I was just trying to demonstrate that we. Okay, hello.
I
Hello,
think he was
Steffi.
talking about the one on the orchestrator. Maybe he was saying the time trigger.
Yes, I was referring to
Okay,
the
the
one on
time trigger.
orchestration.
Okay, testimony. Can you share your screen? Is your laptop? I want to be clear of his question.
Okay. I think we're talking about when I created the trigger and then I picked a process here.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about.
Okay, now in creating a queue, hello, in creating a queue here, this is not adding to a queue. She's just trying to create a queue. But this queue, like I told you, is going to run on a process. So what process wants to run that transaction? Let's assume you have 10 persons that want to withdraw. You now ask which bank do they want to withdraw. Let's take the queue as that place, that hall, where all of them will go and assemble. So the process that will now be calling each of them to attend to them is what she's adding here. But at this point, she has not added any item to the queue. She's just only creating the queue.
So can we equally call this the job?
No, this is not the job.
Okay.
The job will run on the number of items you have placed on the queue. So at this point, we are only defining, let's just say we are defining or we are building the hall where people will go and stay. So we are only defining the queue here. And when defining the queue, we can then say, okay, this is our staff that will be attending to anybody inside this hall. So that process, just take it as the staff that will be attending to the people that will be found inside the hall. I think that that logic will be best suited here. So this queue is, you are just defining the queue, and this queue must be run by a process. A process must act on those transactions. Okay, the items that will be coming here with as transactions. So what will be taking each transaction to work on them will be a robot, and that robot will be running on a code. And I told you a process is that robot and the code put together, and that is what she's putting here. The package and the robot that will be running it, they are all assembled inside the process she's going to be adding here.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the next question.
I also asked if a robot can pick file from the system even when the system is switched off.
Okay, good. Yes. While she was creating the queue, you hear her telling you about retry. There was a place she put retry once. The robot knows that anything could happen, or you that is defining a queue knows that anything could happen. Your laptop could go dead, anything could happen. So you have the right to put, if anything happen and the robot can't see that file, let the robot try as many times as he could. So she placed once. It means that if the robot tried once and he could not find it, the robot should leave that item and go to the next item. So if the robot is supposed to do something for instance and can't find it, he will leave that item and goes to the next item, leaving that item on pending state. Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. The next item, I think that Kendi, are you okay with that?
Yeah, we can go on, sir.
Okay. Now the next question by Kendi. I think there's still like 2 more. So
Also ask if one can upload a saved project from the laptop or from the system to the orchestrator directly without picking from the published ones.
I still don't get that.
it's like having a project. Like you said that the other time. Having a project. I don't know if I'm reconstructing properly. A project you have published as a widget package, as a on that you have on your local device. I want to bring it into orchestrator. Yes. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Julius. Do you get what? Do you get the question now?
Okay, yeah. If I may get that reconstructed one, yes, you have to publish it. You could publish it into your local system or publish it into the orchestrator directly. Now, because of the kind of studio you have, it is tied to your orchestrator. So it goes to your orchestrator. Assuming you want to give to somebody and not to your orchestrator, then you can publish it locally and send that published file or that local file, which is .NuGet package. Send it to the person, and the person can upload it. But the file must be on NuGet package, not your normal studio package codes.
Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Any other one? I think
Yeah,
there's
thank
one.
you, sir.
Okay, great. You satisfied?
No. That's all.
That's all. Okay, Sylvester.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, please, I need some clarification on the job priority. Though I understood what testimony explained, but I still want to get a kind of clarification, because let's assume maybe I have a project A, as she explained, with a priority of I and deadline is tomorrow, and I have a project B that the priority is maybe low or normal, and the deadline is today. So are you saying that it will first of all wait, because the deadline of tomorrow is high, first of all execute that one before executing today? Did you get that?
Yes, I think today's priority is higher than tomorrow's priority, because today is closer than tomorrow. So today's priority is higher.
And
what I'm saying is that today is normal, tomorrow is high.
I think your question is this. Wait, want to visualize your question?
Okay, I will love that.
Let's visualize your question so that we'll be on track.
Okay.
Is this your question?
Then
you have two
yes,
items.
Then deadline is tomorrow. Let's assume tomorrow.
And the priority, the deadline is tomorrow. Then this is normal. First, if two of them have deadline, just pick those that has high priority.
So with
two
the
of them have deadline.
Yes. So let's assume maybe I want to do something that maybe today.
Okay. No, let me add the third one. Let me show you something. See, and let's put this one today. So in this kind of case, first, this is priority. If they both have priority and deadline, just first of all, single those ones out. Priority.
I can't see your
deadline. You're not seeing my screen.
I can only see I tomorrow, normal today. I don't know whether you are doing something else.
Okay. I have A, B, C. Can you see those ones?
I don't know the C. I
You
can't
can
see.
only see A, B.
See A and B.
A and B.
A and B, only A and B, yes.
Yes, only A and B.
Okay.
We can't see the C.
Okay, we
Okay,
can see.
let me
Now
now.
it's up. It's up.
let me share and share back.
We can now. We can
Okay,
see.
you
We
can see all
can
of
see
them.
it now. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you have items like these, that has okay. If you have items that has priority and deadline, let's first single them out. Those are the first ones you then followed by low. So if you look at the 2i, it means that these 2i are the first one is going to pick, the A and the C. But because of their deadline, which one is earliest? Today is earliest compared to tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
So
yes.
among A and C,
Yes.
is going to pick C first.
Yes.
Then followed by
A.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get it.
No, what I'm saying, sorry, what I want to.
Because we said if deadline is attached to.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Okay, go on.
Yeah, what I'm saying is
Yes,
that,
I can
let's
hear
say,
you.
for example, I want to extract something today. I need it today, though the priority is normal. And what I want to do tomorrow is not even, is still tomorrow that I need that thing. So what I say today, if I put the normal, it's going to is going to bypass today, then go to tomorrow. After finish tomorrow, then not come back to today. Is that what you are saying?
Okay, I think you are missing something here. This is transactions. These transactions are listed. Just first of all, take that you have 10 transactions to be treated. Not because I want to do something. All of them, you want to treat them the same time. Then because you put deadline and priority, so the system are already queued with them. So when the system want to pick out of your bulk of transaction, he will go with their deadline and their priority.
Okay.
These are all transactions to treat now. That's what you are telling the robot. Treat this transaction now. Then when the robot, he saw that all of them that you said I should treat now, I need to follow the law of first in, first out, and the priority level. How do I now pick from it? The robot, by his own wisdom, because you say you should treat all of them now, the robot will then go by, okay, this one has I and it's tomorrow. This one has I and it's today. So this is earliest. Let me first of all treat this one. The robot will treat this one first. Then after changing this one, the state of this one will become successful. Now, this also brings me to when you newly create item in a queue, the first state they have is new. They'll be in new state when nothing has affected the transaction. So they will all be in new state. So you have rights to change them when after performing transaction on them. So the robot, after working on today's own, will change this state to success.
Okay, all right.
Okay, please, I still have other questions, so I have two more. I don't know whether I can. Sorry, I'm sorry. We last time
back and pick the next transaction.
Yes, I got that.
So okay, thank you.
So sorry, in the last time that you taught us something about orchestrator, I uploaded one of my projects. But in that project, I have maybe 2 or 3 files in it. And when I now want to process the job, I find that it's only working on the one on the main. So I want the question I want to ask is that can we have more than one file on more than one project on a particular on a package?
You have one project, then you can have different workflows in that project. But all of the projects must be tied to the main.
Okay.
Now, if you look at your package, can you see my studio?
Yeah, I can see it.
Hello, can you see my studio?
I can see it.
Now, on this studio, there's something called project.json. This project.json, I could change my project to not to restart from the main.
Okay.
Hello? I could change my project not to start from the main. But this project.json is what keeps tracks of where your project will start from.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, all right. You see, with serious apology, I want to forcefully bring in the enrollment manager right now. Okay, Mr. Julius, thank you so much. Okay, you're still talking. Sorry, I cut in on you. Yes, these aspects that Mr. Kolode is going to.
Yes. So you see from what? Thank you.
Okay, yeah, okay, so, all right, thank you so much, Mr. Julius, and maybe testimony, all right. All right, can you all hear me? All right.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right, I want to believe it's better today, and we have got a better grasp of where a constrictor works, and some confusions kind of they've been clarified in a way, and we have been able to ask your questions and get clarification. I want to believe so. All right. Now these other aspects. I consider it very, very important and necessary because on the timeline of the management of IMAC Academy, there is a schedule that the enrollment manager has to speak to us today. Of course, that will also inform other things, and that's why I am compelled to forcefully stop this class now. Regardless of the enrichment, Mr. Julius and the testimony bringing into the class. So sorry, I'm sorry for forcing the system to shut down. I mean the lecture to shut down on that note. I mean, if you have questions, sorry, I won't take it in, except if after the talk, Mr. Korode's talk with us, we still have some time to answer questions or so. I really appreciate your sacrifices, Sir and Ma, all right, because you should be in class, you have your own time schedule, and thank you, you extended it. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Julius, and for your testimony. We appreciate it. Okay, so all right, now, yes, I would like Mr. Kwede, please. Sorry, I'm also bringing you up in a hurry. So sorry.
No problem. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Epin. So I'll just go straight to the point. Based on the schedule we have, I believe we can all hear me. Dr. Epin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I believe everybody can hear me then. So based on the schedule, okay, let me first appreciate those who have been committed so far, and your cooperation with Dr. Ebin has also been encouraging. We started this journey a few weeks back, and we're, let me say, halfway. And the plan is that we get everybody safely to the very end, we get certified and become an advanced developer. So now, quickly, the main issue that brought me in here today is the issue of exams. Now, we have mentioned that we made effort to get 50% slash for those who will be writing the exams. However, there's a timeline to this. Yes, your whatever what is it called now? Whatever license you get for writing the exam has a timeline, which is what Dr. Ebi, is it license now? I hope I'm using the right word.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Voucher.
Okay, you mean voucher? Oh, voucher. Yeah, it's going to be voucher.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, voucher.
Sorry.
I was trying to. I
Voucher.
knew that something was missing.
Okay.
Yeah. The voucher itself is for 12 months. However, there's a special application for us to get a price slash. So all this has to be processed together, and in fact, we should have submitted a list of those who are ready a few days before this time. So we're trying to keep things together. We're trying to take also understand the situation and the peculiarity of every one of us. However, we have put a timeline of 4 weeks to this. Ideally, your first exam should be taken maybe next week. This week, I think it's for revision also. So your first exam should be taken next week. So now there's an opportunity, instead of you paying that's 150 for the first exam, you will be paying that's 75. You'll be paying $75. So which is a lot easier, or it should be easier on you paying 75 compared to paying 150. Now the good thing is, when you pay 75 and you write your exam, you pass the exam, immediately you show us that, oh, you have passed the exam and you have chosen to work with Grandida. If you have stated that intention before now, you get refunded that exact amount. Now, I wouldn't want the case.
Sorry, Mr. Hello, sir. Are you saying that
Yes,
immediately after the first or after the 2 exams?
Oh, sorry. I was meant to say immediately after the 2 exams.
Okay.
After the first and second exam. Now, the good thing is you get refunded the money you pay. Even if you are loaning it somewhere, there's a set time to it. That, okay, I need a loan of this amount. I will pass my exam. You are telling yourself, I will pass my exam, and by this time, definitely Grandida will refund the money. Now, on Grandida's part, there's no doubt you get refunded as long as you have shown intention to work with Grandida. Now, so for us to work with, because there's a timeline to all of these things. There's a timeline to the first part, which is the initial exam. There's a timeline to the second exam, and there's a timeline to when students are to get enrolled for orientation. So we don't want something scattered. We don't want a scattered orientation. We want a timed orientation. At the onset, we had said that 3 months, about 3 months for the initial, what is it called? Then the 6 months is for orientation. After that, you get placed on a job. So we had planned the calendar. We had planned all of these things before now. So getting this new opportunity of you getting a reduction in what you have to pay, which you will eventually get refunded for, is to make things easier. We could have said, well, the opportunity is there, just let it go, let them pay whatever, since we're going to refund and things like that. So there's really no time. And what we had agreed at our meeting and at the management level is that once we get 20 people to pay for the first exam, then we'll push out the list to UiPath so that we can get that 50%
Sir, we are
off.
breaking, sir. The information is we're missing some part. I don't know if it's only me.
Okay, Dr. Ebin, let me confirm through you. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, not so very well. Reason is it's breaking.
Okay.
No, I'm not making it so seamless, so smooth. Yeah.
Okay, what about now?
It's worse than the other one. If there is any technical operation.
Okay, let me see if I can just switch.
Okay, if you continue this way, how about this? I think this one is okay. I don't know
You
what
can
is
hear me
changing.
now.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can hear you, sir.
Let's let the class talk. Oh.
Yes, from my hand, I can hear you clearly.
I think it's clear.
Okay, so try and recap. Yeah, so we said that I was saying that there's a timeline to all of this. We have sought opportunity to get 50% off what you're supposed to pay next time. And so we have set a 4 weeks timeline to get those who are ready. Now, take for example, we're about 20 something who have been consistent. Yes, some people up into the class, they may get knocked out for power issues and things like that. But we have noticed that we've had over 20 something people who have been consistent with that. There are some persons who watch review and things like that. So the conclusion we made at the management level is that we need to get 20 persons and get those 20 names sent after verification. Get those 20 names sent to UiPath so that they can get that 50% off. Now, the class itself has a schedule. The orientation also has a schedule, and the job placement as well as a schedule. Now, if we have everything scattered, saying, okay, we want to look for someone planning September, someone planning December, someone planning, you can tell that definitely everything is scattered. So there's a plan. Even if you have to loan money, like I said earlier, even if you have to loan money, it's certain that once you pass the exam and you've shown interest that you're working with Candida, the money gets refunded. So as much as possible, I came to encourage everyone that this opportunity will not be forever. There's a timeline. You just must take action as at when do all your capacity. This money does not even belong to us. You know, it belongs to UiPath. And we are only making efforts to make things a lot easier for everybody. You would notice that the entire process has been sacrificial. So we saw an opportunity of percent reduction. We wrote them, they gave it to us, and now they are asking us for the list of students who want to get or want to leverage this opportunity. So as much as possible, do all you can to be amongst the 20 persons. If we have more than 20 persons, fine. But once we get around 20 people, we'll be able to send the list and say, okay, these people, they will be writing the exam. And we have put 4 weeks to it. I would entertain questions now. If you have questions or things you feel that we should discuss, please kindly state them now.
Hello, Mr. Korede. Hello, Mr. Korede. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Please, the 4 weeks that you mentioned, is it for both exams, or once we indicate interest to take the first exam, we are already covered?
Yeah, the first exam comes first. So once you take the first exam is what we need now, because you should be taking your exam right anytime from now. So even if you are ready to take your exam today, it's fine. What we have just put to it is that, okay, in the next 4 weeks, you should have taken your first exam. Everybody should have taken their first exam. So it doesn't mean that you have to wait for 4 weeks before you take your first exam. So even if you take your first exam tomorrow, you can decide to take your second exam in the next 2 weeks as well. So, but the maximum point we have put to it is that first exam must be done maximum of in a maximum of 4 weeks time.
Okay. So the vouchers that will be purchased now is strictly for the first exam.
Yeah, you see, the truth is the voucher can be purchased for both. If you have your funds ready for both, we can get the voucher done once and for all, and it will ease the entire process because we will not have to be going back. Okay, this person is writing the first, is now writing the second. So that's the case.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you.
Any other question, please?
Okay, Ajao Abidevi, I think going by raising of hands. Ajao Abidevi.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Very clearly, thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, please. I want to ask for your indulgence. I want to be natural with my statement. Now, should in case if there's failure on the part of the candidate now, I mean, if that person fails that exam within these 4 weeks, is there a chance for that person to repeat the exam? And if the person passes the exam, the second one, if there is by any way there's a chance to do the second one, will they refund the first one and the second one to that person, or has that money gone like that? That's one. Two, for those who are not able to do their own exam within these four weeks or so, probably they do the exam later after the whole program. So does it mean they won't have any chance anymore to apply for to work with Grandida in the nearest future? Or please, I want to know.
Okay, so let me start from the second question. The last update I have from the management discussion is that those who will enter the orientation should take their exam, at least first exam within the next 4 weeks. Yes, we are going to probably make plans for them since they went through the class, probably make plans for them, but I can't give you something definite on that because really, the management is trying to work with the timeline we have set. If they are not able to meet up with this now, so it means that it will affect the calendar we had set for people getting trained. Then from that they do the exam. From that they go into orientation. Then job placement. So it's going to affect that. I may have to raise that with the management to see if there's any consideration for that. So the first question, Dr. Ebin, you are the instructor. If a student fails, what happens? The person will have to pay another fee to write the exam, right?
Sure, certainly. He has to pay another. I think maybe his question is about if he's going to still get the 50% slash. I think that's what I think.
Okay.
No, sir. No, I mean refund. You know,
okay.
Refund from. No. Now, what Grandida recognizes is success. Okay, so it is when it is not about attempts, it's about coming up with success at the associate and advanced examinations. That's what they respond to. Okay, it's not about you attempting and whatever happens. All right.
So the summary is you only get a refund when you pass your exam. So and I mentioned that earlier, if you pass your exam and you have shown interest, definitely we refund you the full amount. And I believe you are going to pass, so nobody's going to fail you. You have been doing well, so I believe everybody's going to pass.
Amen.
Okay, the next question.
Okay, I see on the log Ephraim Samuel. Ajaude, we can lower his hands.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Korede. Actually, the first question I wanted to ask, I think the last person just lighted a bit on it. That's regarding the two exams. Yes, if it's permitted for someone to just wait until after the associate and advanced and then take the two exams. But then, of course, you would have assimilated a whole lot. In fact, you would have gained more knowledge to pass the first one, the first examinations, better way. But the question I'm going to ask is this: I don't know if it's a question. The email you actually sent or that we received from HiMac, why I have personally not responded to it is the first clause there or the first criteria that they said that we should send the proposed date that we intend to write the two exams.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't even know the nature of the advanced to say, let me put a date I'm going to write the exam. That's why I have not really sent any dates or replied the mail. So I don't know if you can help us with just do something about that. Let's focus on the first, like you explained earlier, and then subsequently we can now talk about the second exam.
All right, Dr. Ebin, when is the entire class supposed to finish?
August 5th. Yes, by August 5th, it should.
August 5th. Okay, so by then they should be prepared for the second exam, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I will speak with the management. What we're going to do is the first exam, like I said, should be taken. I said 4 weeks, right? Yes, that's what we had discussed. So if you want to wait, I believe you don't need to wait till the end because you would have gotten so much in 4 weeks' time to write the first and pass confidently. Ideally, by now you should have that confidence. You may need to brush up on something, but with tutorials and things like that you've been going through, you should be able to skill that. So what I can say about that is you can give a date to the first exam by responding to the email. Just you may want to put the last exam on the last date, maybe August 5, 6, 7, thereabouts. Is that clear?
That's okay.
All right. Any other question, please?
Yes, Emmanuel Felix.
All right, thank you, sir. Are you getting me, sir?
Yes.
Hello? All right.
Yeah, we can hear you.
My question is due to the challenge that I'm faced with at the moment. I can only get the money for the exams by 15, 16 August. And by that time, I'm sure I'll be able to pay for the two exams. And if not for the money, I think by next week, I should be able to write the exams. I don't know where that will place me if I'm not able to get the money, and then I will have to wait until 15th, 16th of August before I write the exams. I don't know what will be my fate concerning that. And concerning, I've already indicated my interest to work with Grand Leader. So I don't know what will be my fate concerning that.
All right, so let's do something, everybody. I believe we are all here. We're about 26. So let's do something. Let's go to the chat box. And if you don't do this, it's going to affect quite a number of us. But by doing it, it will help me communicate to the management. Now, if we decide to increase the timeline, that is after I get an approval from the management, we decide to increase the timeline to 15th, say 15th, 16th. Oh, let's put it at 20th August. Now, this does not mean that if you are ready to take your first exam, you shouldn't. because ideally, by then you should be taking your second exam, and then we should be thinking of starting your orientation. So I could speak with the management that we should put orientation on till 1st September. So if you will take your exam, okay, let's just do it this way. Just type in the chat box your first exam, when do you want to take it? Second exam, when do you want to take it? I want to see at least 20 responses. This will give me confidence to speak with the management on what we should consider. So I'm looking at the chat box now. If there are no responses, I'll just go by what the management decides.
Please hold on for us, sir. Our system is slow. We are on it, sir.
Okay.
Oh.
It's like some of them may need to consult their wives or husbands and school fees management and all of that.
Okay, I can see Babalola. I can see you. Keep it coming. I'll do a screenshot so that I can show evidence to the management. So far, we have how many responses? I'm just going to count the names. Okay, I will comment. So, okay, you said associates July, advanced August. When in July, when in August? Thank you for those who have responded. I'm still waiting. I need to get a minimum of 20. This would boost my confidence to convince the management.
Okay, while this is going on, let me just say this, that I think during the last batch, yes, we had all that passed their associates. They passed their advanced even before the class ended. In fact, they passed their exams, I think, just a week or maximum 2 weeks into the start of the advanced class. Okay, so that is, so it's not even compulsory you finish the advanced class before you sit for it and pass it. That's what I'm trying to bring out. All right, they are here and they can bear witness. All right, so we have people pass the exams before the finish of class. Okay, that's very, very possible.
Thank you,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
That's very helpful. Yes, go ahead, please.
So, Mr. Kolawole, sir.
Yes, I'm listening, please.
Sorry, it's what I want to ask is not related about this class. I actually have someone that wanted to enroll for the solidity program. So he has been trying to get to you by mail and other platforms, but he said he wasn't getting any response. And I don't know if you can still join the solidity program.
For RPA and Solidity, the enrollment for this batch is closed, but we already opened the one that will be starting in September. So you could go to the link and register ahead of time.
Okay, where will I get the link?
recruitment.imacacademy.tech/solidity.
Okay.
recruitment.imacacademy.tech/solidity.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, so I believe we've gotten those who want to respond. So I will take the names. I will also take their dates. And you would do me a favor, please. If you have not sent an email to joyce@grandida.com, please state these dates the way you have them stated in the chat box. It will, at least it will help. It will be my second witness by the time I'm speaking with the management. So please, let's send the email and let's get our verification done. So I will count. Let's check. Let's do a roll call before I give everybody. Sorry for taking your time. Let me start from first. I have Babalola. I have Iweku. That's 2. I have Afri. That's 3. I have John A. That's 4. Please pardon me if I murdered the pronunciation. Etienne, that's 5. Right, that's 5. Raheem, that's 6. Emmanuel F, that's 7. Leonard, that's 8. Akpata, that's 9. Are there 2 Babalolas? Okay, just 1. We're still on 9. Eswabom, that's 10. Joe O, that's 11. Ademola, that's 12. Okay. KJ, have I mentioned the KJ before? Okay, we have 13. Sylvester, that's
No, sir, I didn't mention it, sir.
okay. All right, thank you. So Sylvester, that's 14. Ajao A.
Ajawa Bidemi.
Okay, that's 15, right? I've mentioned Akpata before. Akpata P. Yes, I've mentioned it before. We're still on 15. Omotayo A. That's 16. I've mentioned Rahim before. Paul A. That's 17. I've mentioned KJ before. Ademola I. Have I mentioned Ademola I? Yes, I have. We're still on 16, right? Kingsley 17. Dami 18. Paul A. I think I've mentioned Paul A. Yes. 18. Ajawe, I've mentioned Ajawe. KJ. Lucky E. I think I've mentioned Lucky. Okay. Lucky. I think it's a total of 19 now, right? That's
yes.
19.
Yes.
So we can go ahead to nominate one to make it up to 20.
So we need 20.
So I will nominate James. As James be included? James Amiade. Then there is Dami. Has Dami been included?
Yeah, I saw
Yes,
Dami.
is there.
Okay.
Is there.
Okay.
To be number one.
All right. Then there are some persons actually that may not be here, like John Ibrahim. Sorry, John. We have John Ibrahim. We have Abubakar Abdullahi. We have who else now? I don't know. But this was to also them up because they didn't come to class today. Maybe.
So what of Vivian?
Vivian is there already. Vivian, our good friend. You say?
Is Vivian part of the list I just called?
I think you mentioned her name.
Okay.
You can check through. Vivian,
yes,
was your name mentioned?
Okay. Vivian, okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. So 19, and by faith, those Dr. Ebin also mentioned 20. So I will be speaking with the management tomorrow. We'll look at these dates. Please do me a favor by sending that mail to joyce@grandleader.com. What you have stated here is stated here. Please state it there as well. That will be my second witness because she will be in the management meeting as well. So please let's get that done. And by tomorrow we're going to have I'll give you the updates via email or I'll pass it through Dr. Ebin. All right, thank you for your time. And well done to everybody. I wish you a successful one.
Okay, before you go, we have April Samuel and Babalola Oladekon raising their hands.
Okay.
I wouldn't know why. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir. My question is just about the dollar rate that we're going to be paying. Is it the black market current price or is it the bank
so
current price for the dollar?
The challenge with Nigerian bank now is your debit card, which is the ATM card, only accommodates $20 per month. So there's a serious restriction on that already, except you have a card that can help you pay 75. So if you have that, you can pay on your own. We'll just send you the link of the price slash. And if you want Grandida to help you with the payments, because we have access to dollar card, so you have to pay based on the black market rates, because we have to load the dollar account with dollars, and we have to buy from a booking. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
How much?
Okay.
How much?
Well, it's not constant, so it depends on when you are planning to pay. We'll check the rate as at that day, so and which you can also check. So once we check it, we'll both see it. I mean, Grajida and the person writing the exam, and then that will be the rate for the day.
Okay, Felix Emmanuel.
Okay, sir. My own is to Dr. Ebenezer, my question.
Okay.
Yes, it's concerning the videos, the recorded classes that were not uploaded. The reason I'm asking because some of us depend on that due to poor network that we used to experience. We depend on it to sort out some of the challenges.
Yes.
Yes, sir. YouTube.
Okay, so I think I will apologize for that. There has been some delay, and that has been as a result of the network we depended on started misbehaving with the upload rates. So we've always had to upload so that you guys can have it. But no worries, work is in progress concerning that. So I can assure you that by tomorrow evening, all the pending videos would have been uploaded.
Thank you so much, sir. That's a good news. Okay.
Welcome,
all right.
sir.
I would have been I would have had to stammer to answer that question. Okay, thank you. Meanwhile, in the interim, you can also check the LMS, the website to see videos of past sessions. I think we have those links there. So I know YouTube is closer to us than the LMS. No problem. All right, Vivian. Vivian is raising her hands.
Yes, good evening. Please, concerning the payment, I would like to ask, what if I have someone that intends to pay for me, like through the dollar, that is the same $75, instead of me going through black market and all that, the person is willing to pay the $75, because that's because me checking the black market and all that is kind of high for me. So I kind of begged someone, he said, okay, I agreed to pay the $75. Would that be acceptable? I will just pay to the account directly.
Yeah, once you have shown, you have sent your, what is it called? You have responded to the email we sent out earlier by sending details of when you'll be writing your exam, and if you have done your verification. So what we'll do in that case is get the link and get it over to you so that you can make the payment.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Let me add to this. In fact, having a leader to pay for you, I will tell you that it's an extra job because there is no gain, no business involved in doing this. So it's a lot of relief, even if you go by this mode, you having someone to pay for you. I'll tell you the truth. Okay, and even last session we came to the point that some persons had to pay, using the account to help others pay for their exams. So it's highly welcome. But just ensure that I'm not saying that all of you should go through Vivian's link. Okay, I'm simply presenting a general view. Okay, so once you are sure of who you are paying through, that's fine. No problem. All right. Okay, done. Okay, so without wasting any further time, suppositions still go to Mr. Korede Kolawole for those succinct responses and way of conducting the class. I emulate people like this a lot of times because I wish I can be so organized like them. Okay, Julius Atagana, thank you for your inputs, testimony. Thank you. All right, we appreciate all of you. All right, so it is good to just draw cutting on today's. Sir?
Yeah, so I said it's also, the class is quite good, and so we envy you because of that. You've had a good class so far, so we must praise you for that. Well done, sir.
Okay, well, I think the reason why the class has been good is because of the students that are there. Okay.
Yeah.
The students too. The students, yes. I'm not good. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you. All right, so see you tomorrow. It's already deep into the night. Okay, so bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good sleep. Thank you.
Yeah. Good night, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Good night, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Good night, sir.
Guy
And have
voice
a
loud,
nice rest.
Thank you very much, sir. Good night.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night. That is Akpata.
Now. Good night, Mr. Ebenezer, Mr. Kolawole. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night and have a blissful night.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you.
Good night, Mr. Ebenezer.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, sir.